Yo, yo, what is going on? What's up? The shit show is not here today. That's right. The circus is not in town this week. We beat it back. We soldiered on and we put together a show without any problems this week. Snaps for us. Snaps for us. We did a good job. We're going to pat ourselves on the back here. Today's show is mostly basketball. There's a little bit of the other sports in there, peppered in, also peppered in with just a pinch of bullshit, as I like to call it, both by Dubs and yours truly, but mostly basketball because, it is March and we are in March Madness and in full swing. Woo! So it's all basketball, really, let's be honest. And I just got Peacock and I want to go watch The Office. So we're going to get out of here in just a moment. Just want to tell you we're doing the second round of the bracket today. We did not do so hot on the first round of the bracket, but we'll see how the second round goes. And yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I mean, it's doubling Christian to win the bracket, but hey, whatever. 10,000 to 1 odds.
Right. All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I am Bert, a.k.a. Bertus Mayfield, a.k.a. Bert Warner. I have with me Dubs. Say what up, Dubs. And Meech. What up, Meech?
I'm so fucking locked on this Syracuse game that nickname almost snuck past the goalie there, but that was pretty good.
Thanks.
Bert Warner.
Yeah, Bert Warner. It's pretty obvious. I don't know why I didn't think of that before.
It is, but that's the thing with all of your nicknames. A lot of them are super obvious, and they're still just so great.
Yeah, I'm looking for one to top Bertrude Stein. I don't know if it'll ever get topped. So.
That was truly an amazing feat of thinking that you did there.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I just thought of a good one. I'm going to text you after the show.
Okay, dope. So, let's see. Any bullshit to start the day off?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
So we got some bullshit in Russia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people are watching March Madness. This asshole's reading up on Russia today over here.
I'm also watching March Madness. Got multiple devices.
And reading on Russia. He's a Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. But the Dyatlov Pass, thank you, is a place in Russia. It's not in Siberia, but it's up there. It's pretty up there. And they're in the 50s, 1959, 9 hikers disappeared up there. They all died due to hypothermia, like going fucking crazy and leaving the tent with like no clothes and shit. And they got themselves killed. 2 drowned in a river. 2 of them fucking cracked their skulls open. It was horrific. 9 people from Russia heard about that and were like, we should go to the Dyatlov Pass and honor these dead hikers and do the pass ourselves. And now those 9 people are missing.
Wow.
The Dyatlov Pass came in and dropped a fire-ass remix.
Jesus Christ. I wonder what happened to those people. Like, do you think the 2 people in the river went crazy, killed everybody, and then drowned themselves in the river? That's a possibility. That sounds like that's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
I think it was a large Yeti.
I mean, anything's out there, dude. Like, I would not.
Yeah.
Siberia, like, if it's near Siberia, then leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, I'm good. It's like Florida. I'm not going there. All right, well, this is not an episode of My Favorite Murder, so we're going to move on to sports. Let's start with the NBA. So what's the happenings in the National Basketball Association?
Look at you. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I didn't know you knew the name of the league.
Yeah, I don't care about the sport, but I know the name of the league.
That's good. LeBron James, hurt. Good. Love to see it. Calf strain. Wow. He's out indefinitely. Joins the injured list.
Jesus Christ, what an
Davis.
asshole.
What? It's not like he's got like a fucking torn ACL or COVID. He hurt his
he's
calf.
out with a high ankle sprain, but they have time and they don't even need to lock up home court. They just need to lock up. They just need to get into the playoffs. He'll let him and Davis rest, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Once they get to the playoffs, that's all that really matters anyway.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets have lost 20 straight games. They are on the downslide of all downsides.
Yeah. It doesn't look good.
It does not look good. They're in full tank mode. They have an undrafted rookie whose name is escaping me, but he's been like the only bright spot there. And they did get John Wall, but I don't think anything's gonna be happening in Houston for a while.
No. And on the opposite end of that, the Atlanta Hawks are 8-0 since they named Nate McMillan the head coach and fired. I still can't remember his name.
Lloyd Pierce.
There we go. Yeah. So I mean, they are on the
Let's go
extreme of
Hawks.
that. Yeah. Hawks now looking like the team that I think most of us thought they would look closer to going into the year. As we said, they made a couple off-season moves. It's good to see Nate McMillan get another shot and turn this team around, really.
To quote spring training New York Yankee / Texas Ranger Russell Wilson, go Hawks.
That was pretty good. That was pretty smooth.
Love it. Anthony Edwards scores 42 points and sets the Timberwolves rookie scoring record. Good for Anthony Edwards. He's been playing really well lately, shooting up the rookie ladder. Celtics finally win. Love to see it. Jaylen Brown had a career day. I don't know. It was one of those weirdly timed games.
Middle afternoon.
Yeah. Dusk.
I'll see you on the court at dusk.
Jaylen Brown, sharpshooter, 10 threes. Huge game. We beat the Magic after losing 3 straight. It's only the Magic, but I don't know. Every time we win right now, it's just giving me.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you just need to stop, hemorrhage the bleeding and,
cut
win.
ties.
And it doesn't really matter who the win is over or how much. It just matters that it counts in the win column.
I thought you were going to come at me for my blind hope because every small win, even if it's over the Magic, I'm like, we could still do something this season. But then
I mean,
I look myself
like
in the mirror.
You were overarching with that much support when you just said that we won. You were like, even though it was over the Magic, that's still a good step. It did sound like you were going like, oh, we might be in the finals. We might be.
I was gonna get there.
Oh, okay. I should have known, being a
gives me a
asshole, that it was only about to come up if it hadn't yet. Because why would you ever think that you guys could not win the East, despite that being not the track record over the last few years?
All right, we're not going to win the East. Well, regular season, we're not going to win the East, but playoffs, for sure, going to win the East.
Are you? Is this a joke? Is the mic on? Is this a joke?
Victories get my hopes up, and then
you think
6
you're going
hours
to
from
win?
now,
You think you're going to represent the Eastern Conference Finals in the finals?
We could. 6 hours from now, I'm probably going to look myself in the mirror and go, we're not doing fucking shit this season.
Yeah, after your next loss and you see the 76ers and the Nets looming large for you guys.
I skipped over all Celtics talk last episode because I was really in a dark place with it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the Bucks are actually playing better now too,
days.
So you also have to watch out for them. Good, and the East is not a joke anymore. Like, it used to be a joke. It's gotten very competitive over the last couple of years now.
We'll be all right.
You've got the Hawks who look to be on fire. The Heat are starting to put it together. Like, good luck, buddy.
So are we. We're gonna start putting it together right now. We'll be all right. So I'm saying every single time we win, I'm like, this is it. Our run, we're gonna look like a contender again, and that's where I'm at right now. A few hours from now, it might change, but for now, let me ride my high, Meech.
Just to cross this T and dot this I on Celtics news, and then we'll please God stop talking about a basically useless team.
Hey,
Coach Brad Stevens.
Hey,
says he is staying in the NBA with the Celtics, and that he is not going to Indiana. We talked about it last week on the podcast. Kind of not denying that he was going to take the Indiana job last week. This was an all-out, basically all my chips are in on the Celtics. So
called himself a masshole, says he screams in traffic, drives around people to get to Dunkin' Donuts. Love to see it. Brad's not going anywhere. We'll love to have him.
Yeah, it was very much a different announcement than the previous one. I felt like it was very much different. But yeah, so just to end the NBA talk with that, it seems like that coach will be staying as a Celtic. I just need to start calling them the Celtics, just like we've done with Washington Football Club. I'm just going to call them the Celtics every single time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you want to move into some baseball?
Yeah, I mean it's been slow. Spring training is kind of wrapping up, and we're almost to opening day. But the Royals did extend Salvador Perez for 4 years, 82 million. Kind of a weird move for a team with not a huge budget. He's an aging catcher, and I think he hasn't played in the last 2 years. He was out, I believe, all of the regular season before last year, and then I think he got injured in like the first month of last year.
I can't speak for last season, but I knew the year completely.
Right. So he's definitely looked, older. He's a 30-year-old catcher, and you give him that much money. I mean, I'm not a fan of giving any of these catchers money. I wouldn't have given Real Muto money either, but I mean, he's probably going to give you at least 2 years, but I mean, they both signed massive contracts for aging catchers.
He ages like a fine wine, Meech.
Yeah, most catchers do, where they, start to dip into the 200 range, and, they can still handle a pitching staff, but, they lose some speed, they lose some zip off that arm. That's usually, good call.
I have a bone to pick. I have a bone to pick, an MLB bone to pick. It's with the app. So I wake up today. And,
your app low-key sucks.
Yeah, like I wake up today and it's Sunday, and that's normally the day where I'm kind of like, I don't know, I just don't feel like it, And I'm just laying in bed watching TV, and I get a notification on my phone that's like, 1 inning 20, or like in 5 innings 23 runs are scored, all this crazy shit, and I'm like, what? And then I click it, and it's for like a fucking like little league softball game, and I was like, you bastard. Like, they got me excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna be able to talk about this so much on the show today. And then it was some little league shit.
Best case scenario, it was a spring training game.
Right, but I'm still saying, like, if that many runs are scored, there'd be a lot that we could talk about. You know what I'm saying? I was excited for that, like, nugget of information. Absolutely, that'd be ludicrous.
Absolutely not. We've talked about this before, too. I give literally no credence to spring training at all, whatsoever. I don't care about it. It's fun to see baseball back, but the numbers are literally fake.
Okay,
it's like the NFL preseason. Chase Daniels is like the longest serving preseason quarterback that puts up all the numbers, but he's not a starter, so he doesn't actually start at the regular season. So these numbers mean nothing.
Okay, well, give me about 5 minutes, because I'm going to go pour myself a tall glass of go fuck myself, and I'll just chug that down.
I mean, quick. Basically.
And then, we'll go from there.
Spring trade.
I'm just saying it would have been something exciting to talk about. I'm not, let's move it on. Jesus Christ. Meech just shitting on parades. You should put that on your resume. Parade shitter.
Going back to apps, who's actually improved their app? ESPN. They had the shittiest app for the longest time ever.
Yeah, my brother told me to download it, but I just haven't.
Improved it.
Yeah. My brother the other night was telling me to download it because, I'm using ESPN Plus now to watch the hockey games, some of them anyway. And he was like, yeah, you should get the app, man. It's dope. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, it's dope.
I mean, they basically made Bleacher Report into a multi-billion-dollar organization because they couldn't develop an app. Is basically what happened.
Right.
I mean, literally.
100%.
And by the way, the Syracuse Orange just won.
Let's go.
Beat Bob Huggins in West Virginia. That was a great game. Went down to the very end. Cuse win by 3. They just had to not lose by 4 for my bettors out there. So we win on that game too.
Fun little sidebar. First time West Virginia had to face a zone all season.
Yeah, I mean, and that's notorious. That's what Cuse is known for in the tourney. Notorious. They're so hard. It's such a different look. And they were the announcer who was on the game, and I didn't keep track of it, was like kept pointing out why it was such a difficult zone. And I thought it was really so good.
They run the 2-3. That's what when I played basketball and we went to States for travel, that was what we were and it's a disgusting fucking defense. The 2-3
Yeah,
zone is
it
no
was
joke.
stifling. And then he was like, and see, they want you to throw down to this corner. They want that because then they'll just trap you. And every time he said it, that's what happened. And it was a great game, though. I mean, West Virginia was down, I want to say 15 at the end of the first and came back. But that was just a great game. Anyway, it just ended. So
I got the oof of the week. We had a Dyatlov pass remix at the start. Normally the oof of the week is at the start. We go to baseball for it. Cubs prospect Jesus Camargo caught with 21 pounds of meth and a pound of oxycodone in his equipment bag.
Oh, okay. So you answered my question because I saw like a little, ticker thing, but I didn't click on it. How much meth?
21 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that'll get you in some trouble.
There's a picture of his baseball bag at the airport with the fucking just tons of meth in it.
Wow. And you said a pound of oxycodone?
Yep.
That's the good stuff. Sorry.
Perky.
Fucking the analyst. There we go. Jesus Christ, that was hard for me to get out. Fucking pills over here commenting on fucking the real stuff.
It's the good. I'd say it was the real stuff. It's the good stuff. That's
is. Also a fan
Chef's
of
kiss.
soda.
I was a fan of all of it in my day when I played the game, but I'm retired now. My jersey's on the wall. Made it out alive. Aren't I blessed?
In the rafters, just hanging there.
Yeah, number 13, way up there. Hall of Famer.
That and the piece of your nose that dude broke off in a bar with his elbow.
It wasn't in a bar. It was in a party. Wasn't in a bar.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
House party.
It was outside after he fucking poured beer on the asshole.
It wasn't even like some random guy. It was like one of my oldest and best friends.
Oh my god.
Beer?
Yeah, it was fucked up, man. Dark times. All right, let's move it on. I don't want to stay in that place. I'm having a hard enough time as it is. So, any other baseball stuff you want to talk about before we move on to the hockeys?
Joey Votto returned to camp after a COVID. Oh, Joey Votto, one of the best players in the last, decade. Good to see him back and healthy. Jack Leader, number 1 prospect in the MLB draft, son of Al Leader, former pitcher. Meech, you might remember him.
You mean Leither?
Al Leiter?
Lever? I've never heard his name pronounced that way. Yeah, no, Vandy has a juggernaut of a baseball program, dude. They have that's where Walker, Texas Ranger is from. Like a ton, they have stepped up their presence huge the last
Dansby Swanson came out of there.
Years. But yeah, no, they are a preeminent program, and yeah.
They have
Leither stuff looks
prospects.
absolutely disgusting.
And they have the other pitcher, Kareem Rocker, the 2 top prospects in the draft, both at Vanderbilt. But Leiter threw a no-hitter and struck out 16 for Vanderbilt yesterday.
Yeah.
Woo! Throwing gas.
Up in that draft stock. Yep. He's in that.
Good for you,
that
dude.
was all I had.
I have a thought where he might go, given the amount of former major leaguers' kids they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have first pick.
No, I don't know. I was just saying. It feels like he has Toronto written all over him, given that current farm system. Well, I guess they're not farm system anymore. They're all in the majors. It seems like.
Yeah.
But,
right.
But yeah, no. It was just a joke. I have no
inside take on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I gotta put that disclaimer out there nowadays.
It just seems like that seems where he's definitely going.
Yeah. I'll buy that.
The Pirates have the first pick.
Oh, that would
the
be
Tigers.
Yeah, it would
guess
be good
who's
for them.
number 2 is the Rangers. Number 3 is the Tigers. And guess who's sitting at number 4?
The Red Sox?
Your boys, the Bo Sox.
Yeah, you know how you got there?
A bridge quote, Theo Epstein.
He had this slight pause to think about what to say back to me for a second. I didn't even hear what he said after that. I just love hearing the silence.
I said a bridge year to quote Theo Epstein.
No, I mean I knew what you said. I just
gotcha.
didn't acknowledge it after I heard the amount of silence I wanted to for a second.
Yeah, Meech gets off on the silence. All right, you boys want to talk about some hockey now?
Every time you say hockey, it makes me laugh. You guys
Hockey.
want to talk about some hockey?
Yeah, it's a habit I got into because that's how we used to make fun of people by saying, we'd be like, yeah, let's play some hockey. And then it just kind of got,
Hockey talk.
And now you've
indoctrinated
become
into my
everything you need
vernacular.
to mock.
Yes, I have. It's very, very true. 10 years. If the me from 10 years ago could see the me now, he'd probably whoop my ass. He'd be like, you fucking square. But yeah, let's talk about some hockey. I guess the first thing
Might be on some performance-enhancing beverages, though.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely would be. And some pills. He'd be on a lot of things. He'd be like a
Then he might not kick your ass that badly.
You'd be surprised what you could do when you are, just filled up with reckless
When you
abandon.
can't feel pain.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be surprised what you're capable of. I almost got my arm ripped off by a train once. That's a funny story. I'll tell it later. Yeah, it was a mushroom thing. So anyway, I mean, the only thing that I have that, we don't all know about is Jack Johnson of the New York Rangers, arguably the worst player in the National Hockey League, has been.
I know Jack Johnson. Shut up.
You do?
I do. We're not very close, but we say hi to each other.
Okay, cool. Hi, Jack. But no, this Jack Johnson, the worst player in the National Hockey League, and I think you can say that pretty safely, is on the New York Rangers right now. He was signed after they bought out Lundqvist and they traded away Mark Stahl, and they had like $1 million really to play with. And I don't know why they signed him. Like, nobody can really figure that out. And when they signed him, they did say, guys, don't freak out. Like, he's not going to play all the time. He'll play like a few games. And, and to their credit, he has only played a few games. It's just funny, though, because he'll play a game, look pretty bad, and then mysteriously he'll be out with some sort of injury. Then he'll come back a few games. Then he'll be out again with some sort of injury. Then he'll come back a few games. Well, now they said that he's getting surgery for some sort of muscle damage and that he will be out for the rest of the season, at which point he will be conveniently an unrestricted free agent. So that's pretty interesting and kind of funny. And I wonder where Jack Johnson will go. Probably Buffalo. Speaking of which, we could talk about some trade rumors.
Enjoy.
I didn't see too much trade rumors. There is a pretty strong trade rumor right now that says the Flames and the Flyers are discussing a trade that Johnny Gaudreau and I believe some sort of pick would go for Konechny from the Flyers, which I'm not so sure the Flyers need Johnny Gaudreau. I think they need like defensive depth. I mean, if you watch,
They do have a problem scoring goals.
They do. That's true.
Oh, that was actually sarcastic. I feel like they always have like 6 or 7. I feel
No, they recently they have had a problem scoring. But their defense is a serious issue. I mean, if you watched, the 9-0 game the other night, which will henceforth be referred to as the St. Patrick's Day massacre. And then you watch highlights from the other night, like their defense is just like non-existent, non-competitive. So I really feel like they need to be making moves for defensive depth. They did pick up, I believe, a couple defensemen recently, or maybe they traded a couple defensemen away. Either way, they need more defensemen. That's their real problem. And their goaltending is suffering right now, but I think that's a fluke personally, because Carter Hart was great last year, and Elliott's not traditionally a terrible goalie. So I feel like it's just some sort of fluky thing that's happening. But
I mean, I watched the game the other day, and their goalies weren't exactly put in situations to succeed either. Like, they just I couldn't tell you how many times. I can't even remember who was playing them. Like, it might not have been yesterday.
I think it was the Islanders the other day I saw playing them.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it was.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to me how many times they just glided over the blue line uncontested.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
so many 2-on-1s, so many 3-on-1s, and then just not even trying to make it hard to take it over the blue line. That's not helping your goalies out at all. It's not. Yeah, and it's true.
You have to glide it like a bowl of cream.
Yeah, exactly. Like a bowl of cream, man, with a mop. That's what you do. It's typical of Alain Vigneault hockey, because what I was about to say is that it's really interesting that the way they're performing defensively is exactly the same way the New York Rangers performed when Alain Vigneault was the coach. Then they got rid of him, and it took about a one season, but then the defense for the Rangers now is really, really, really good. arguably one of the best defenses, in the division. So it's funny that it's kind of vindicating, because I said years ago that guy is, a garbage coach, and now you can see it happening on another team. So yeah, I mean, it might be better to just get rid of the coach and not so much worry about the defensive depth, although it does seem like a problem. And I agree with you. When you give up so many shots and give up so much room to an offense, you are not allowing your goalies, they're going to have to be out of position to make a save, which then, of course, gives you basically an open net, or it's hard to control the rebounds. There's just all sorts of problems that can come if your defense is not putting in the work it needs to be putting in.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was, I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. Let's see. How about the Bruins, Dubs? I know they've got a bunch of players on COVID. I think 5 players, right, on the COVID protocols?
Oh, yeah. We got a lot. We postponed a couple of games.
Krejci's on there, right? I know it's Krejci and who else?
Pasternak was one of them.
Pasternak's one of them. I think Marchand was also one of them.
That's like your whole top line, dude.
Make them play without their line.
Yeah. That's tough, man. I'm so sorry, man. That's tough.
It's like one person from every line.
I'll check right now.
It's not great.
So they're postponing the games?
But
Yeah,
they postponed, I think, 2 of them, yeah.
2 games.
And we are also we were just talking about rumors. The Bruins were in on a couple. Ricard Raquel, is that his name?
Uh-huh.
From the Ducks.
Yeah.
And Matthias Ekholm.
Ekholm, yeah. Ekholm's good. I like Ekholm.
Yeah,
I'm an Ekholm stan.
We're connected to both of them.
Yeah, you think that's likely? Do you know who they're rumored to give up for that? Is it just picks?
So I know they gave a price tag on Ekholm. It was
I heard the price tag for Ekholm is like ridiculously high.
A first rounder and 2 prospects.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
People also think they might get away with it with just like DeBrusk in like a second or third, or not a first round pick.
Okay, I've got the list right here. It's DeBrusk, Krejci, Pasternak, and Craig Smith. And then you've got Kuraly was added to the protocol as well. So there are your 5 players on the COVID protocol from the Bruins. That is not good. Because DeBrusk, Krejci, and Pasternak are good players for them,
I believe we're down 2 defensemen to injury already, too.
Oh, God. That's terrible. That Rick Nash trade is looking great now, huh? That was sarcasm if you can't tell. So, yeah, injuries. Speaking of injury, the most significant injury that I saw was Tuukka Rask is injured, right? He was placed on the IR, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the dude they brought up has been killing it.
Oh, yeah? I have not been watching Bruins games at all recently.
Vladar.
He shutout in his first game, didn't he?
Yeah, Vladar.
That's dope. Do you know?
I'll know it now.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
Florida?
I mean, you know what's Florida? Oh, really? No, because they're in a different division, bro.
No. I feel like it was a red team.
Caps, probably.
That might have been it.
Probably Caps. That's interesting. It's the Caps are an interesting team, man, because they're, up top right now. But we just played them and held it to close games, both games. And, if they beat the Caps too, I don't know. Like, the Caps might be a fraudulent team as well, man. But as far as
playoff,
they
it was
just
the
seem
Penguins.
more fluky than anything, honestly.
Yeah.
They'll have great games and bad games.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's weird. It's not even like I don't get like the Flyers vibe from them. I don't get the whole like fake, but they definitely have really good games or really bad games.
Yeah.
They're very hard. I never bet on those games because of that. They're just a crapshoot, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could be more streaky as opposed to fraudulent. It looked like to me when I looked at the IR this morning or this afternoon because I didn't wake up this morning, the heavily injured teams are Dallas and the Wild, which might explain the Wild's sort of downward trend recently because I've seen them losing a few games in the highlights and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then you look at the list.
the top of the division. I feel like they played the Avs, lost 2 of those games, and then they played someone good before that too. So they have played, I think that maybe St. Louis. So they played at the top of that
or
division
Vegas
the
or
last
something.
couple of games. Yeah. So they definitely were playing against the top tier teams in the West too. That also brings.
But I mean, they have 6 players on the IR, and only one of them is a defenseman. So you got 3 centers and 2 wingers on the IR right now. All been placed on since January 31st. So that's kind of a tough. I mean, January 31st was one, and then the rest of them have literally been in the last week and a half. So
which is also they've looked like they've had a lot of trouble scoring, and that
right.
correlates with
Definitely, absolutely.
The only thing I saw for hockey was there's actually a trade. Another team acquiring goalie depth. The Sabres traded Johannes Jensen.
Yep.
To the Avalanche.
Yeah, I did see that.
For a 6th round draft pick. So this is the second team we've seen acquire goaltending depth, and as you've been saying, goaltending depth this year is as important as it's ever been because so many games, back to backs.
Yeah, your goalies are going to get worn out.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We could talk about Tom Wilson. Actually, no. You said the Avalanche were going to allow fans back in the building.
Yeah, Avalanche they're planning on allowing 4,000 max, but 4,000 fans allowed. Starting in April.
Nice.
Colorado.
It's good. I'm glad to see sports returning to some degree of normalcy.
And yeah, like you said, league cancer Tom Wilson is back on the Capitals. He vows to avoid suspensions after his return to the team.
Did you see
like a load of bullshit to me?
I don't know, man. I mean, I was the one who stood here the most and was probably the most scathing about it. But the Rangers just played a back-to-back with them, and in the second game was his return, and the announcer said that he just claims this, I have no confirmed proof of this, obviously, that he texted Brandon Carlo and apologized to him and all this stuff, right after it happened. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's is he intentionally trying to hurt people? I'm not so sure of that, but I mean, 5 times is a pattern.
You could do it one time and then feel remorse, but the more it's like Vontaze Burfict. He was just perennially suspended and being fined for all these hits,
and everyone looks at him like a piece of shit.
Yeah, and at some point, 99% of all these guys just want to be able to play the sport and not hurt anyone else, right? But then you have those guys that for some reason they can't turn it off. Them knocking out someone else out of a game and possibly a career is something else to them. So we'll see if he actually changes his tune or not.
Yeah, I feel like my point is is he intentionally doing it? Maybe not, but it's still reckless behavior that he continues to engage in, and that's a pattern, and something has to be done about that. And, really, like we've discussed before, the biggest problem is the Capitals not condemning that action. That, to me, is the biggest part of this whole story. The league is one thing, Tom Wilson is one thing, but the Capitals kind of defending him so, unabashedly is a problem for me. But that's really all I have for hockey, and I don't know if you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before we move on to the football.
Ready for some fucking football?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get to it. Pitter patter.
My Patriots reportedly high on Justin Fields. I just want us to draft a quarterback. I've said it. I don't want to run with I don't want to run with Newton.
I get that. I get it.
And Fields is no one has him outside the top 3, I don't think.
Where are they in the first round? The Pats. What's their pick?
I mean, top 3 quarterbacks, not picks. We have 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's not too bad.
Yeah, we can move up.
Yeah.
Gilmore, I feel like, is going to get moved with the pick to move up. If we move up, I think Gilmore's gone.
Yeah, if you move up, that makes sense.
We also signed Raekwon McMillan and re-signed David Andrews. So a couple more small moves for the Patriots. Geno Atkins was cut by the Bengals. He hasn't signed anywhere yet, right, Mage?
No, I was looking for his name specifically today. I didn't see him on any list.
I'd be interested to see where he ends up. You tweeted it. Teams are looking for pass rushers. A lot of them got paid this offseason, so
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them got picked up the first day. I feel like 8 of the 9 were snatched up by teams the first day. Veterans a little bit
perennial
different.
Pro Bowler too.
Yeah, and veterans are a little bit different. I mean, a lot of the people that acquired were veterans, but like this guy is one of the people that's not going to get hurt too much by this year. I don't think he's going to. He might sign like a 1-year deal somewhere, but he's going to get paid because he's such a difference maker, or could be for a playoff team. So we'll see where he goes. But yeah, I mean, pass rushers got scooped up mostly the first day, honestly. So we'll see where he chooses to go. It might be more
New England.
He's a veteran, so he might take his time a little bit more.
Love to have you, Gino. Big fan. Seahawks re-signed Chris Carson today. It was a 3-year deal.
Well, it was weird because it was kind of like the Tom Brady deal. It was a 3-year deal that voids after 1 year, and we were talking about that last year. So they really only re-signed him for $6 million. Not bad for a starting running back. He is a solid running back if he can stay healthy.
If he's healthy, right.
That's been the problem the last, 3 years or so?
3, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not a bad salary for a running back if he can stay healthy. That's been the problem, is him being healthy. But like that maneuver by the Rays, the Bucks, they were able to kind of move around some cap room and move around some money. So that's interesting. I'll tell you a team that doesn't need any more running backs. The Texans.
Philip Lindsay.
They currently have Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram. They reworked David Johnson's deal. And then they have 2 other RBs I haven't heard of that are either
Mark Ingram.
I said Mark Ingram.
Oh, sorry. It cut out.
So Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, and then they reworked David Johnson's deal. They also have 2 more on their roster currently who, were either draft picks or whatever. But so they have 5 running backs in total. 3 of them have at some point been the starter for their team. So this will be an interesting rotation in Texas.
We'll see what goes on there this season too.
Yeah, Texas has a whole bunch of surprises, I feel like.
Some other small moves the Texans made while we're on topic. They picked up Desmond King, former Charger, Vernon Hargraves, former Buck, Dante Moncrief, who's bounced around. He was with us briefly last year. Picked up Philip Lindsay, like we said. They also traded for Ryan Finley, who had that win for the Bengals against the Steelers. And how about the Deshaun Watson element?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
It's a weird situation.
A very weird situation.
Truly odd.
I can't even wrap my head around it. It's like
that's what I was gonna say. I can't understand. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody, I'm gonna do a bad job explaining it here, but somebody claimed Watson sexually assaulted them during a massage. Went to a lawyer. The lawyer came out publicly, and then it sounded like a bunch of other people contacted this lawyer.
Yeah.
Saying
he put out stuff on social media saying to contact him, and then subsequently, I believe, filed 9 more claims against Watson.
It was 9. Absolutely.
So Watson obviously responded and said, you take it seriously, that it's all.
But it's in civil court, right? It's not in criminal court. Yeah, so that's weird to me.
Civil court, not criminal.
Yeah.
That was also weird to me. When I saw that the first time, I didn't even think anything of it. And then the next day there was a ton more on it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, I believe they tried to settle before they even drew up claims too. And you hear shakedowns like that, like it's in an episode of Ballers and stuff like that. But
and that's sort of what Watson's defense was too. He was trying to get money from me, blah blah blah. But he did deny it.
Yeah. Other than that, Juju, there are a couple of receivers off the board. Juju takes less money to go back with the Steelers, and it seems like Steelers fans aren't even happy about it.
One guy who was happy about it. Chris Carter, we interviewed him in episode 25. He was happy about it on Twitter, it seemed like.
Yeah?
I mean, I just feel like the fans were not. I saw a lot of negative things, and I was just thinking, it's Juju. I know he didn't have as big of a year as everyone thought he did. He also drew all the coverage because no one else could catch a goddamn ball in that offense.
Right.
So it was kind of, and then they had no balance, no run game. But I just thought it was kind of a cool move for him, but I felt like he got shit on, and I couldn't really figure out why.
He also took less money.
He took less money. He took a team-friendly deal to come back.
Yeah. Turned down
and
offers from the Ravens and the Chiefs reportedly to go
yeah,
back to the Steelers.
right.
Yeah, why would you be mad about that?
I don't understand.
Because sometimes the fans are stupid in every city, not
It's
just.
Cardinals
Yes,
fans,
I
fans.
agree.
You took less money. Why are you mad?
Yeah.
You can't. And then Miami signed Will Fuller. Talk about another guy who's perennially. I feel like I use that every episode. That word. Like, every episode, like 50
You
times.
do. You do.
And I can't even say it right, so that adds injury to insult. But another guy, if he can stay healthy, he always has health problems. Will Fuller. He didn't last year, actually. He looked good last year. Was on the field for most of it. Usually he has season-ending injuries after having 3 to 4 promising fantasy weeks. You start to think you've put a fantasy team together, and then it all crumbles. So Will Fuller will go be a Dolphin. And then Kenny Galladay signed with the Giants. That's not too much of a shock. I think we all that came out as one of his favorite teams to go to. He signed a deal with them.
All right. Any other football news you guys want to go over before we get to the college basketball stuff?
A couple more moves. A couple defensive backs picked up. Kyle Fuller is going to the Broncos. Xavier Rhodes is returning to the Colts, and then Keanu Neal will follow Dan Quinn to Dallas. So a couple other moves that happened there. Also, the last thing, the former first-round pick that the Dolphins just traded for, Isaiah Williams.
You saw that
Wilson.
shit, dude?
I saw it, and I was like, wait, that's the same guy. That's his name, right? I looked at the story. I was like, that's the same fucking guy. The guy they just traded for, and it was a throwaway pick or whatever they traded for him. But they just traded for him for, well, was it a 6th?
So they swap picks.
Oh, okay. So they swap picks, but they just traded for him. He has already been cut by the Dolphins after missing, after being late to his physical, late to his check-in process, and then did not show up to previously committed to voluntary workouts. So they have released him.
The Dolphins basically said they tried to help him, didn't work, wished him best of luck, and kicked him to the curb.
Yeah, and he's got to look back on this and be like, I am so stupid, because it's not even, he didn't even get cut because he was bad.
And you see the video of him?
Is a clown. No, I didn't see it.
Did you see the video? There's an Instagram live video. The day he skipped one of those workouts, he was seen partying on top of a car with a vape in his hand.
Oof.
Yeah,
big oof.
You do that. Throw away a career that you could have had. What an idiot.
Love it.
At some point, he'll wake up and realize he screwed up tremendously. And then other than that, just Mitch Trubisky signed as a backup with the Bills. So Mitch
Trubisky
Interesting.
is out of Chicago. Mitch, is out and will go to the Bills as a backup to Josh Allen. Also, there was a story about the Saints losing draft picks, or a draft pick, for COVID violations and being fined. And then I saw somewhere else where that wasn't a story. Did you see that at all, Double?
So I saw it come on and then couldn't find anything on it.
Because Ian Rappaport tweeted that they did, and then I saw
But then the Vikings lost a pick yesterday. Did you see that?
I did not.
So I'm curious if it was misreported.
I mean, I don't think it'd be misreported.
That's a possibility.
From Rappaport, whose source was the NFL.
Right.
So, and the other one was like the New York Times or something like that I saw that wasn't. But I was just thinking the Saints get fucked by the commissioner kind of constantly, if that's actually true. Because they lost Sean Payton for a year because of Bountygate. And then they will forfeit a 6th rounder in 2022 and be fined $700,000 for COVID violations this year, which was a locker room celebration. They didn't even have games canceled or moved, right? Like,
No.
I don't get it. Like, I was reading this and going like, why does the NFL hate the Saints? Because if anyone should be, it would be like the Titans, who had 2 games moved. And even though there was nothing egregious, I mean, at least their report found, I mean, a locker room celebration after you've been on the field, like, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But there are disputes to that report being correct, or maybe not. I would like to think it is, because it came from Rappaport and his source was the NFL, his employer. I don't think he would just, report that out and then be wrong about it.
Right.
So
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see the Eagles got Anthony Harris, Meech?
yes, I actually meant to write that down, and then I totally and completely forgot. Yes, we did get Anthony Harris, and I am amped about it for like $5 million too. So like, I finally gave
That's a steal.
Mr. Roseman big ups because he finally did something decent for a change in his tenure as the GM for the Eagles. But yeah, I mean him.
Yeah, I figured you would have been happy with that move when I saw
No,
it.
it was a great move. It adds some help to what is an improving secondary. Slay didn't look great last year, but I think that was a lot of because they were on the field a lot longer than they should have been last year, and also the lack of talent in the defense last year. So we'll see. But yeah, no, happy to sign Harris and happy for that price tag too. So that should improve the secondary of the Eagles. But I mean, teams are loading up in the East. It will be more competitive than it was this year. Like I said, Giants added Galladay. So the Washington Football Club added Fitzmagic and a receiver whom I also can't remember his name right now. So that division is going to be
Samuel.
fairly competitive. That's right, Curtis Samuel. And then Dallas is bringing back Dak. So it should be a little bit better than it was last year for sure. Also, unlike a Boston fan, I'm not delusional. I don't think we're going to finish higher than like fourth.
We're gonna win the thing this year. Our division.
Oh, I bet you are. I bet you are.
All right, let's get to the college basketball, boys. Let's do the thing, as they say.
All right. So first off, we were 18 for 32. Not bad. Not bad, not great.
Not bad considering some of the picks we made were the biggest upsets.
Absolutely.
Not like we slouched. We didn't take the easy road there.
No, we made it fucking happen. We pulled upsets out of nowhere.
I mean, that's
We
a
lost the
good
game we
that's
shouldn't
a
have.
that's a good percentage with me as the dead weight on the team. That's pretty good percentage, boys.
That's also a good percentage picking Oral Roberts.
Big Oral Roberts guy. We can start in that conference if you want. We'll just run through some scores real quick, and then we'll do a quick preview of round 2.
Sounds good.
We will start with the Ohio State Oral Roberts game. Ohio State 72, Oral Roberts 75. This was our biggest pick of the whole first round. Big upset. 15 Oral Roberts picks up the win in overtime.
Also expertly picked. I think we picked it because we liked the name.
Yep, absolutely.
Little expert analysis there.
Damn right. That's what we do here at Stone Sports.
Florida versus Virginia Tech. Florida got the win 75-70, so the 7th seed will move on there. Arkansas beat Colgate. Beach, we decided last week or found out last week you were a Crest guy. That should have been our sign to pick against Colgate. And we just didn't see it. We misread the time.
Against Colgate, but we did a system of 2v1, so I was outvoted.
Yeah, he was outvoted.
Fair enough.
So suck on
it
that.
happens. Arkansas picked up the win 85-68. Texas Tech picked up the win against Utah State 65-53. We have that one right. Purdue got the fucking break speed off them by North Texas. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, no one did.
Meech, would you like to talk about Nova versus Winthrop?
You son of a bitch.
I figured I'd leave this one to you.
Oh, I lost a lot of money this game. Everyone was picking Winthrop. Everyone said Nova would not be as strong. They were missing key pieces. And Jay Wright basically reiterated why he is great every year in the tournament. So, yeah, I bet against
Villanova
them.
moves on.
Yeah.
UNC, Wisconsin. Wisconsin beat the fucking shit out of UNC. They're just kicking them while they're down. It was horrific. It was like that video I talked about with the cow just stomping that lady out in the hospital. Wisconsin was.
I forgot about that.
I will never forget about that. It's lodged in my memory banks now.
Yeah, Wisconsin handled them.
Baylor beat Hartford 79-55, and that will close out that bracket. Move over to Illinois. They beat Drexel 78-49. Loyola picked up the win over Georgia Tech. Tennessee got beat by Oregon State. Another upset we called. Let's go, boys. Good shit. Oklahoma State picks up the win over Liberty. Oklahoma State's in a weird situation because they got banned from the tournament decision, and there's no decision made on the appeal. So basically, every game they're in danger of getting booted from the tournament.
They're not in danger. The NCAA is not stupid. Cade Cunningham is one of the few people that names that people know in the tournament. I guarantee you there will not be a decision in the next week.
Fair.
There's no fucking way.
San Diego State loses to Syracuse 62. Good for Syracuse. West Virginia beats Morehead State. Funny name, Morehead. Clemson 56, Rutgers 60. And Houston picked up the win over Cleveland State 87-56. Meech's pick to win it all, Gonzaga 98-55 over Norfolk State. They dominated, came out looking like a true 1 seed. Oklahoma beat Mizzou. Won on that one. Mizzou was in the lead. I thought they had it. I love. Creighton beat UC Santa Barbara by 1. I really thought we were going to call that one too, boys.
Damn. That close.
We were all in on the Santa Barbara sweep.
They did cover that spread, though, which was the most important. It was like a 7 spread,
yeah, they
and the
did,
Gauchos
Meech.
covered it.
There's that famous Meech catchphrase, covered the spread.
USC picked up the win over
Well, there
Drake,
is no
which I gave us a
weather,
half a point.
They're all indoors.
I gave us a half a point on this one because so the real total was 18.5. We picked Wichita State. Wichita State lost to Drake, but we said Drake would lose if they won, which happened.
Yeah.
So I gave us a half a point. Kansas beat East Washington. They scored 93 points. Gonzaga was the high scorer with 98. Oregon versus VCU was a no contest due to a COVID test from your hometown Rams, Birdie.
Yeah.
So Oregon moves on there. Iowa beat Grand Canyon University. Michigan picked up the win over Texas Southern. LSU picked up the win over Bonaventure. Colorado over Georgetown. Florida State beat UNC Greensboro. UCLA, Mick Cronin, I called it. 11. They beat BYU. Texas upset by Abilene Christian. That was a crazy ending to that game. Did you watch that one, Reach?
I did not. It's funny. I was busy the last couple days, so I watched all of the games today, which is Sunday.
Right.
So I've seen all 3 games today, but I didn't watch much before that other than Iona.
We're about to get to Iona. UConn lost to Maryland, and Iona almost covered the spread, right?
No, they covered the spread. The spread was 17. They lost by 13.
Let's go, Iona.
Yeah, so my boy, it was a very close game in the second or in the first. In the second, you started seeing the difference in talent on the teams. But my boy Rick Pitino tried his best.
That was it for our round 1 recap. We can move into round 2.
Let's do it.
However, there are 4 games already done.
Okay.
So Baylor already beat Wisconsin.
And Baylor took it to Wisconsin. That was not even a close game.
No. They beat the shit out of them. Punched their ticket. I love the dude on Baylor with the mullet, by the way.
I mean, a mullet and a mustache own the day. Both the guy from Baylor and then the guy from Loyola Chicago.
Cameron Crutwig.
Yeah.
That guy has favorite player at every level he's played at. He's just like a big center. He's great on the post. He always has his head up. He makes great passes. He's like a point center for them. He's been the player of the tournament so far, I think.
Yeah, one of the only 2 people left from their magical run in 2018. So it's kind of cool. They were talking about that during the game today. It was kind of cool to see him and I believe Williams pass down the torch to the new members of Loyola. And hopefully they can just be a threat, one of those mid-majors that's always a threat when it comes tournament time.
What you gonna do when Sister Jean runs wild on you?
Yeah, pretty much. I saw a tweet earlier that was like, if Abilene Christian wins, Loyola has already won. I might have to become religious again.
Syracuse, like we said, picked up the win over West Virginia, 75-72. So the number 11 seed will make the Sweet 16. Jim Boeheim becomes the second coach to make 20 Sweet 16 appearances.
Yeah, and that was a great game. Huggins did a great job coming back from that. The first half, they were down. I believe it was somewhere in like the range of 12 to 15 points. They came back, made it close. It was a close game the rest of the way, basically. And then we saw some shooters lighting it up for both Syracuse and West Virginia. Just a really well played game, really entertaining. But yeah, Cuse moves on. Moves on.
Cuse moves on.
We got one game that is just about to finish up. Arkansas is going to get the win over Texas Tech. So good for Arkansas. They will move on, and we will make some picks for the remaining games here. Gonzaga versus Oklahoma. Who we got, boys? I got
Yeah, I think I got Gonzaga. As well.
Yeah.
Creighton versus Ohio. I like Ohio, honestly.
I mean, I just think about Meech anytime I hear the word Ohio now. Meech, you want to go ahead?
Little Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah, exactly. Hawthorne Heights. I was like, Meech, you want to go ahead?
I can't make it on my
All right, we're picking Ohio then. Because Meech's heart is in Ohio.
Meech's heart is in Ohio. Yeah, let him know, son.
Let him know. USC versus Kansas, boys. Who we got? I like Kansas. The fog.
Yeah.
I think Kansas is gonna win, but I'm rooting for USC.
Yeah, that's kind of the boat that I'm in.
Kansas. Oregon versus Iowa. We haven't seen Oregon play yet, and Iowa is really fucking good. I'm going with Iowa. I like Luka Garza.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have like sweeps this whole thing.
Good shit. Michigan LSU.
This is tough.
I think Michigan still got to pull it out. I know they're missing their.
I'm inclined to go Michigan because that's where Iggy Pop is from. So I'm inclined to go Michigan.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna go
amazing
Michigan.
blue sweep.
Colorado versus Florida State. I like Colorado. They surprised me in the first game they played.
Well, you know I'm not a Florida fan of just
Colorado
Florida
as well.
Yeah, Colorado is chill,
These
but Florida
fucking
is
sweeps,
not.
boys.
So Colorado all day.
Well, Colorado looked great too.
UCLA versus Abilene Christian. I got UCLA and Mick Cronin, boys.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen. Although I did, like I said earlier, accept a 10,000 to 1 bet on the Abilene Christian to advance from their side of the bracket. So if that happens, you get $500 based on 5. Not bad.
Love to see it.
Yeah,
this is like the sweepstakes, boys.
Maryland versus Bama. Maryland surprised me against UConn, but Bama also surprised me. They came out firing, so I'm gonna go with Bama.
I'm gonna go with Bama too.
Bama. Roll Tide. Wisconsin already talked about. Villanova, North Texas.
Nova.
I want to go North Texas. Birdie on the deciding vote.
Oh, okay.
Jay Wright is a monster.
There's nothing in North Texas that pulls me to North Texas.
I'm going Villanova then.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
Texas Tech, Arkansas. We talked about Arkansas pulled that one out. Florida, Oral Roberts. That one's speak, boys. I'm going to go watch that right when we're done recording in a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to go Oral Roberts.
I'm riding Oral Roberts high.
Yeah, I feel good.
Also, Florida did not look super great against Virginia Tech. Oregon State, Oklahoma State. I will ride with Cade Cunningham.
I'm going Beavers.
Yeah, all day Beavers.
Beaver? I hardly know her.
Beaver. Syracuse, West Virginia. Syracuse picked up the win. And our last game, Rutgers versus Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston's moving on.
The Cougars.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with it.
Big Cougar guy, Birdie. Big Cougar guy, Birdie.
Yeah, I love an older woman.
Isn't?
All right. Well, that'll do it for Stone Sports.
I mean, your mom counts as older, right?
Hey ho! Ohio! All right, boys. Anything else you want to talk? Oh, I have some news. I got a VR headset. It's coming in the mail. It'll be here on Tuesday. So I will be escaping the world into the Matrix. Yeah, that's my news. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Wait, you got a better headset? Is that what you
I got a VR headset.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never wanted to do the VR thing. It looks stupid to me.
VR porn.
I said the same thing, Meech, and then my homie got one, and I put it on and was playing some games, and it's awesome. It's not worth $1,000, but now they've got, like, Facebook just put out this new one that's like $350. So it's relatively cheap, and you don't have to have a computer to use it. You can just like use your smartphone. So I was like, well, fuck it. So yeah, I mean, of course I'm gonna look at the VR porn. What do I look like, a fucking chump? Anyway, anything you guys want to talk about before we get out of here?
No.
All right, boys. Well, thanks for listening to this episode of Stone Sports. Follow us on all social media. It's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It's all Stone Sports Podcast. We're out of here. Say goodbye.
Peace.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Later.